Hello everyone, no respawns, hope you're doing well. So, Prey, I got that the other day, and it is absolutely fantastic. Now, this isn't so much a review, it's more of a I'm 7 hours in the game, and I wanted to give you my thoughts video, whatever little niche that fits in. Does it fit in a niche? I don't know, it's really good. Anyway, I'm going to try and keep the spoilers down. Obviously, for example, I won't tell you anything that happened to the story, but I'm just going to give my thoughts and my opinions, kind of how it's working out so far, what I think of it, that kind of thing. However, if you obviously don't want to know anything about the game, the Too Long Didn't Read it's very good, and you should get it. It's really awesome, especially if you like things like Bioshock and a little bit of survival, jump-scary survival horror, then you'll love this. Anyway, so the footage you're seeing, by the way, is kind of a few hours ago. It's quite early-ish in the game. I have been taking it very, very slowly. So just a note there. It's one of those games I think you could probably finish. Looking at kind of what I've seen, kind of the video length on YouTube and things like that, and kind of suggested, you can probably complete it in about 10 to 15 hours at a brisk pace. So in terms of at a slow, having like at my level of pace, which you can see what I'm doing right here, right now, I'm guessing it's going to be a 30, 40-ish hour game, kind of similar to Dishonored, kind of the last Arkane Studios game. Quick shout out, by the way, to Arkane Studios. Those are the game developers. So it's published by Bethesda, but it's developed by Arkane Studios, and they're the guys who gave you Dishonored and Dishonored 2. Holy shit. Dishonored 2, which was absolutely incredible, and now they've just released Prey, which, at least so far, obviously I haven't finished it yet, so I can't kind of pass final judgment, is at least as good. And Dishonored 2 was one of the best. I think it came out last year, didn't it? Late last year, and it was one of the best games that I played last year. It was so incredible. I did play as Emily Coldwin, in case you're curious. Racked about, said 40 hours in the game. Did fine-tooth comb it to a quite a high degree. I even got the what do we call it? The non-lethal achievement as well. Clean hands. Didn't kill a single person because when the option's available, I just have to take it. Anyway, Prey, new game, really cool. So in terms of the art style, as you can see, it does have... It's done that Bioshock thing, which I quite like, which is taking the traditional kind of sci-fi setting and making it weird. And that's what I like about... I mean, maybe you could say Bioshock isn't sci-fi, but you know what I mean? That kind of horror sci-fi setting. And I really like what they've done. So as you can see, it's kind of like Art Deco. You can see my shotgun especially. I mean, just to note on the shotgun, it is actually... That's the... what do we call it? The pre-order bonus. So you get this shotgun. There's another shotgun that you find in the game. It's just silver. And this one has a special name, which I can't remember. But as you can see, ignoring the fact that I'm about to walk through the checkpoint and set off the alarms, it's quite useful. Now, on the subject of the combat, this is not really a plus or positive. It's interesting. So with the combat, as you can see, enemies are quite tough. These mimics are actually, you can take them out in one shot. I'm taking them at a long range. I really shouldn't. Bit of a waste of shotgun shells, to be fair. As you can see, it's transferred into a... But basically, it is very much a survival horror game rather than a kind of a run-and-gun game. And that might put some people off. So you're going to find yourself running out of bullets if you're not careful. Now, they obviously do give the option in here, which is... You can... But you may have seen me picking up loads of kind of bits and pieces. You can actually put those in a recycler, and then you get raw materials, and with those raw materials you can fabricate pretty much any resource once you've found the recipe for it. Even things like, I think you can fabricate turrets and stuff like that. So it's very, very cool. And that gives you a load of options in terms of how you approach things. So basically, rather than giving you loads of ammo, and then the game kind of forcing you to choose certain gun, you basically just find loads, you can see loads of raw resources, and then you fabricate those into the ammo you want to use, which is quite cool. But in terms of, yeah, it is more of a survival game. You are going to find, you know, like I have got, 21 shotgun shells, and that's pretty much, on average, what I'd be carrying around. My kind of, to give you an example of what I was comparing it to, think about Half-Life 2, which has horror elements, but it's got a lot more ammo thrown at you. It's not like that. It's more like a bit like Dead Space, or even a little bit less like Dead Space, because you really don't have much ammo. But you do obviously have a wrench and things, which is pretty cool. Now, it's very, very slow-paced if you want it to be, which I really, 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 really like. So I can kind of... There's a bit of a stealth element. You can see me creeping around, which I really love. It's kind of following on from that kind of System Shock, then Deus Ex thing, where you basically, they give you the open area, and you can just take on the enemies however you see fit, which I think is pretty cool. It gave me... So I didn't play much of System Shock back in the day, but I played Deus Ex 1, the original Deus Ex, so much, and I rate it actually as one of my favourite games ever. I probably, if I had to choose it, my favourite game ever, alongside Baldur's Gate 2, in case you're curious. But it is absolutely incredible, and it does give me flashbacks to that, in terms of just the slow pacedness, and just kind of the world building as well, and that's another thing. As you can see right now, you probably saw me a second ago open up my little PDA thing, and you saw the kind of various emails, and you can see in the back there, that white screen is actually a PC. You can read every monitor. There's so many audio logs, so much to read. There are books, like kind of little books lying around, but they're not like, give an example, like actually how they did in, say, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, where it's several pages you have to read. It's actually just like an excerpt that gives you a kind of summary of it. So there's loads of world-building elements around in the game if you want to look for them, but you're not forced to look at them, which I quite like. So you can it really does stress player choice. Now, in terms of player choice as well, and kind of following in from that kind of Bioshock, Deus Ex, kind of augmentation, plasmid thing, you have Neuro Mods. Now, Neuro Mods are, effectively, I'd say, more like plasmids. So they're pretty cool, and they cover, when your gamer have, you say, you're thinking of, like, say... Like Fallout, where you've got, say... No, that's a bad idea. Skyrim. So you've got your stats and your feats. It kind of does that, but it does the Fallout thing of merging it all into one big menu. Also, you see right there, it has also the Fallout thing of having the quick save on the console, which is really cool. In case you're curious, I'm actually playing this on PC, but with the controller, because I felt like using controller. However, even though the buttons say it's because it's meant to use an Xbox controller, I'm using an emulated PS4 controller because I wanted to double down on the blasphemy. So I'm actually using a PS4 controller right now, but the buttons say Xbox because the world is crazy. Anywho, but yeah. So the way it works is you can, for example, in this point of the game, I haven't really gotten... Actually, I could have had one, but I haven't gotten the ability to use any of the more flashier, shall we say, kind of like plasmid style ones. However, where I am in the game, where I literally just am, where I've actually just got to, is I've just got the ability to throw, like, energy and things, which is quite cool. They're a little... Oh, do you like Gloopy McGloopface? That's using the goo gun? Yeah, goo gun. And it's this weird thing which fires goo, and you can use it to climb shit or block off stuff. You saw me earlier, actually. I used it on what do we call it, an electrical panel. It's very useful. It can also slow down enemies. Very fun. And also you can make snowmen and then smash them to pieces, which is what I'm doing here. Sorry, Mr. Gloopy McGloopface. So yeah, it's the character upgrading works like that. So for example, I've focused on things that you can see repair, so I've put points into my repair. I haven't actually done it this far in this where you're seeing now, but I have. So I can, for example, repair that turret. I can hack that turret and do other things like that, which is quite cool. Increase your inventory space, enable you to upgrade weapons to a further degree, hacking, all of that stuff, pick up heavier objects, because obviously the way the Neuro Mods work, I won't tell you the lore-wise, but basically they like, upgrade your character. So, for example, you can make yourself stronger, run faster, but then also you can use them, as I said, for later on to actually unlock plasmid-style, Adam-style abilities from Bioshock. I haven't used many of them, and I don't know how they compare. Looking at it in terms of what I've experienced so far, I don't know if they're going to be as symbiotic as the ones in Bioshock, because it was a big thing in Bioshock, and that's not necessarily a negative, but from what I remember from, in Bioshock, you can, for example, the 1-2 punch from the first game, using the lightning charge and then smacking someone in the face with a wrench. Because this is a bit more a survival game, I think they've made it a little bit more... You can't spam them in the same way. It's also like, for example, when I used the energy charge thing, it took down my mana. I remember it's called like a psycho something. It's a purple bar. It took down my purple bar by a third with one charge. So you can't spam them in the same way that you can maybe do them in a game like Bioshock. But it's still... You still feel suitably powerful. So yeah, hope you guys found kind of my thoughts on the game. So it's a bit more rambling. I just wanted to kind of tell you how I felt about it so far. Basically, quite slow-paced, lots of jump scares, which I love. Very, very survival horror-esque. Lots of player choice, and it's so far got a pretty weird and cool story. Some of you might not like it because of the slow-pacedness. I said you can play it the way you want. There is or was a console demo. I'm assuming they wouldn't be so dickish as to get rid of it. I'm on Xbox and PS4. There wasn't a PC one, but there might be now. I'm not sure. So you'll have to check. I have no idea if there is. If there is, download it. If not, try and get a console and play it if you're not too sure, because it is really, really good. Pretty much, this is definitely Arkane have continued on promising and delivering excellence. It's very, very good. Anyway, I'm going to go back to playing now because I'm actually much further on than what I'm looking at right now and want to play some more. So, mate, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll have a new Fallout video up soon. It's going to be the dock/pier thing linking towards our giant-ass crane. It's going to be cool. I'm going to be putting a boat on there as well. It's going to be grand. It's going to be all funky. Until I get around to doing that, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to play Prey. Take care.